like and subscribe. One Human's Wrath. The planet Valtoria was known for its tranquility, a lush green world with sapphire oceans and a peaceful populace. It was a paradise by any measure, but tonight a shadow loomed over this idyllic planet. Commander Raxor of the Zintian fleet stood on the observation deck, his reptilian eyes narrowing as he surveyed the planet below. "Deploy the probes," he ordered. "I want to know what we're dealing with." The Zintian probes descended silently, their sleek forms blending with the night sky. They hovered just above the canopy, searching. Then they found it, a lone human standing in the clearing. The human's presence was a mystery. How did he get here? Why was he alone? And why did he look so calm amidst the encroaching danger? His name was B.N.Rocker, a former soldier turned wanderer. He had crash-landed on Valtoria weeks ago, finding solace in its untouched beauty. But now, solace was replaced with an imminent threat. Ethan stared at the probes, recognizing their design immediately. "Zinthians," he muttered, gripping his blaster. "This is going to be interesting." Back on the Zinthian flagship, Raxor observed the human with curiosity. "A lone human? This should be easy," he scoffed. Ethan's eyes scanned the probes, calculating. He knew what they were after. With a swift move, he activated his jammer, sending the probes into a frenzy. "Let's see how you like a little interference," he smirked. The Zinthians responded quickly. A squadron of drones was dispatched to capture the human, but Ethan was prepared. He navigated the dense forest with ease, setting traps and using the environment to his advantage. The first drone fell into a concealed pit, its sensors blinded by the thick mud. The second was caught in a snare, its delicate circuitry fried by a burst of static. Raxor watched the feeds, frustration building. "This human is more trouble than he's worth," he growled. Ethan reached a hidden cave, his temporary refuge. Inside, he fixed his transmitter, hoping to send a distress signal. "If anyone's listening, this is B.N.Rocker. I'm on Valtoria, and I need immediate extraction." But the Zinthians were relentless. A massive scout ship descended, its searchlights piercing the darkness. Ethan knew he had to keep moving. He slipped out of the cave, his mind racing. Time to turn the tables, he thought. Ethan's evasion tactics had bought him time, but he was running out of options. He decided to take the fight to the Zinthians. Using his military training, he crafted a plan to infiltrate their ship. As he approached the landing site, he spotted a patrol. He disabled the guards and donned their gear. Disguised, he moved through the ship's corridors, planting explosives and gathering intel. In the control room, Raxor was growing impatient. "Increase the search perimeter. He can't have gone far," he commanded. But then alarms blared. "Intruder alert! Intruder alert!" Ethan's diversion had worked. The explosives detonated, causing chaos aboard the ship. In the midst of the confusion, he made his way to the command center. Bursting through the doors, he faced Raxor. "You should have left when you had the chance," Ethan said coldly. Raxor snarled, lunging at Ethan with his claws, but Ethan was faster, dodging and countering with a swift strike. The battle was fierce, but Ethan's resolve was unshakable. With a final, decisive blow, Ethan incapacitated Raxor. Breathing heavily, he stood over the defeated commander. "This is why you never anger a human," he said. Ethan activated the ship's self-destruct sequence, setting it to give him just enough time to escape. He sprinted through the corridors. Ethan's breath was steady, but his heart pounded with the adrenaline of combat. He knew he had little time before more guards were upon him. Ethan didn't slow down. He sprinted forward, his blaster held tightly, ready for the next threat. The ship's red emergency lights cast eerie shadows along the corridor, making it harder to see clearly. He turned another corner and suddenly found himself face to face with two more Zinthian guards. Without hesitation, Ethan fired. The first guard went down instantly, but the second one was quicker. The Zinthian lunged at Ethan, slamming into him with a force that sent them both crashing to the floor. The blaster skidded out of Ethan's grip, sliding away just out of reach. The Zinthian had the advantage in size and strength. He pinned Ethan to the ground, claws digging into his shoulders. Ethan grimaced in pain but didn't lose focus. Using his training, he twisted his body, delivering a powerful knee to the alien's midsection. The Xynthian grunted, momentarily loosening his grip. Seizing the opportunity, Ethan rolled to the side and threw a punch at the alien's face. The Xynthian staggered, giving Ethan the chance to reach for his blaster, but the alien recovered quickly, lunging at Ethan once more. This time, Ethan was ready. He dodged to the side, grabbed a loose panel from the floor, and swung it with all his might. The panel struck the Xynthian's head with a sickening thud. The alien fell to the ground, unconscious. Ethan took a moment to catch his breath, his muscles aching from the exertion. He retrieved his blaster, knowing he couldn't afford to rest for long. The ship's alarms grew louder, signaling that more guards were on their way. Ethan pushed himself to his feet, his mind focused on one thing, reaching the hangar bay and the escape pod. He sprinted down the corridor, the ship's layout now clear in his mind. Each turn was calculated, every step precise. He could hear the distant shouts of Xynthian soldiers and the clatter of their boots on the metal floor. As he neared the hangar bay, the sound of blaster fire erupted behind him. Ethan didn't look back. He burst through the hangar doors, the vast space filled with ships and equipment. His eyes locked onto the escape pod at the far end of the bay. It was his only way out. Ethan ran, weaving between crates and machinery. Blaster shots whizzed past him, narrowly missing. He could see the security team converging on his position. He pushed himself harder, adrenaline fueling his every move. A series of explosions rocked the hangar, the result of the charges he had planted earlier. The blasts created a momentary distraction, buying him precious seconds. Ethan ducked behind a cargo container, catching his breath and assessing the situation. The escape pod was just yards away, but the path was swarming with Xynthian guards. He needed to create another diversion. Spotting a stack of fuel canisters, he fired a shot, igniting them. The resulting explosion sent shockwaves through the hangar, causing chaos among the guards. Seizing the moment, Ethan sprinted towards the escape pod. He dodged blaster fire, his movement swift. As he reached the pod, he slammed his hand on the control panel, the hatch opening with a hiss. He took one last look at the chaos behind him. "Good riddance," he muttered, launching the pod just as the ship erupted in a fiery explosion. The pod hurtled through space. He had survived, but the experience had left him scarred. He knew the Xynthians wouldn't forget this defeat, and he had made powerful enemies. But for now, he was safe. As the pod's autopilot set course for a nearby starbase, Ethan allowed himself a moment of relief. He had faced the wrath of an alien battlecruiser and lived to tell the tale. And he knew, deep down, that this was just the beginning of his adventures. The universe was vast, and there were many more challenges to come. But no matter what lay ahead, he was ready, because B.N.Rocker had a secret weapon, a human's unyielding spirit, and the wrath that came with it. This is not goodbye, nor the end. Until the story continues, my friends. B.N.Rocker.